What's going on, everybody? We are live again today, post Dragon Ball Legends podcast, to bring you some opinions and discussion pieces around the 2020 Game Awards. So, Nalar, why don't you give us a little more insight as to why we're here and what the plan is?
So, as you guys know, Five Nine Gaming, we've got a bunch of content creators. We're all gamers. We love games, and the Video Game Awards, or the Game Awards, I guess, is what they're calling it. It's a good time because that's when they'll do reveals for new upcoming games and all that stuff. So we're definitely gonna be covering that live, giving our reactions. So definitely stay tuned to the Five Nine Twitch channel for that. But in the meantime, the purpose of today is we're just gonna, as a bunch of the Five Nine creators, we're gonna sit here and then just go through the nominees for each genre and grouping and give our thoughts and see who's gonna win. Maybe we can do a little side betting here and there. We'll see. But in any case, yeah, we're just gonna hear talk about our thoughts and just dive right in. So, what's the first one we're gonna head over to, guys? I think it's best debut game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so let me just rattle it off real quick. So, new game for the year, independent studio. So we've got Carrion, Mortal Shell, Raji and Ancient Epic, Roki, and then Phasmophobia. I think it's safe to say the majority of us haven't played all of these, unfortunately. Maybe we should. I think, I think the one we did end up playing mostly is Phasmophobia. So we've done it live on stream. You guys go ahead and talk about your experience playing Phasmophobia.
It's great. Well, first and foremost, I also played Carrion as well, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's a somewhat of an interesting take on the Metroidvania style of gameplay, but instead of playing like as Samus, you play as a giant escaped horror monster and basically try and kill everyone and progress through the levels. It's very fun, but it's not a very long game, and it's only single player. I have not played any...
Yeah, wait, I played this. I thought it was called another thing. Okay, no, yeah, it's good. It's actually a really good game.
Yeah, it's really fun in terms of like Metroidvania style 2D exploration, kill everything type game. But due to its short play lifespan and single player, I would definitely vote Phasmophobia as well. I've already gotten like 50 to 60 hours worth of fun out of Phasmophobia, and online play with your friends. You can mess around, have a good old time, scare people, laugh. I think Phasmophobia is probably going to win this one without a shadow of a doubt. But
yeah, it's definitely the most popular.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's caught fire.
I also heard a really good. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying it's caught fire. A lot of people are checking it out. I mean, it's got a lot of view time on Twitch and stuff like that, which I think can go a long way towards helping win things like this. And it is genuinely terrifying.
Oh, just before we go a little deeper, so just to be clear, half of the votes coming from us, the players, or the people, and the other half is from critics, right?
We don't know the exact percentage, but it should be basically critics, and it's going to be partially the critics and partially the public.
Right. And so the main point I'm trying to make is that people from the public, if it's got longevity on the Twitch sphere, then it's got legs with that too. So
it can also be seen a bit of a popularity contest.
Yeah, in a way, unfortunately, because you might overlook some beautiful gems in the mix, but that's how it works.
I mean, just for the brief description of that Carrion, I must admit I want to try it. I do like Metroidvanias, and they kind of did make it sound quite decent. I mean, I know it's short, but I definitely want to try that game now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I would recommend it. Again, you probably only get like 4 to 12 hours worth of enjoyment at it, depending on how much you want to replay it and whatnot. But I like Metroid, Castlevania, every single style game like that that's pretty much come out. It's always had, I don't know, some quality aspects to it. And this one, the fact that you're playing as a grotesque horror movie monster killing off all the scientists and all the people is a neat little spin on the genre.
I think I've maybe seen a trailer of it. I think the animation on the monster itself looks pretty smooth and pretty decent. I actually think I've seen a few trailers of this game. And you're a man of good taste. Metroidvanias are up there, top tier, great gaming.
Cool. Any other thoughts from like Lethal? Anything?
Yeah, so I'll jump in real quick. So of this category, I've only played Phasmophobia, but I have heard good things about Carrion, so hopefully that's something that I can play in the future. But real quick, just to add in with Phasmophobia, one thing I like to say about this game, it's something that I've never really had in a different game before, is the use of the microphone in this game and how they really like implemented it in with like the immersion into the gameplay and like speaking to the ghosts and like how your voice counts and even just like talking to your teammates. That's something that for me personally that I've never seen in a game before, and I'm glad to see it in this category because I do think like it definitely deserves to be here for sure. It's a good game.
Yeah, to echo that, I love the radio chatter in the game, the talking to your teammates, and then communicating with the ghosts is all very well done.
It feels super real. Like I think they nailed it.
Okay. So let's do a quick round. Who do you think is going to win, or who do you want to win, and then who do you think is going to win? So let's start off the top here. Gotcha.
I think Phasmophobia is definitely the one I want to win, and seeing again like how Hazink mentioned how much watch time is currently getting on Twitch and the popularity of the game, I'm pretty confident saying it's going to take it. It's really blown up this last month.
All right, Gail.
Yeah, no, I mean, pretty much you guys covered everything. Like, as I've not played any of these games, but obviously I've watched Phasmophobia the most. Obviously, having it picked up so much traction over the last couple of weeks / last month. Definitely, I think Phasmophobia is probably gonna take it away by quite a distance. So yeah, I'll give that my vote.
All right, Hazing.
I mean, I feel like it's a semi-uneducated guess because I don't know a lot about the other titles, but from what I've played of Phasmophobia, and again, the way that the community have taken to it and viewers have taken to it, from looking outside looking in, I think Phasmophobia is going to take it. And from my playing of it, I really enjoyed it. I think it would deserve it anyway. It's been a very enjoyable game for me.
Okay. Lethal.
Pretty much, it's going to be the same thing from like what everybody else is saying. I think Phasmophobia, I want it to win, but I also think it is going to win. And I think a lot of part of it is basically what we've all been saying. It's like, it's been getting a lot of watch time over on like Twitch and YouTube and whatnot. So it's a big popular game, so I could definitely see it winning.
Alrighty. I guess Nas, you're same thing. Phasmophobia.
Yeah, Phasmophobia is probably going to win. We'd have more to talk about in this category if any of us had played any of these middle three games, but because none of us in the entire Discord right now know anything about them, I feel like that's also telling as to why Phasmophobia will probably win. I mean, unless one of these games has like a huge underground following that none of us know about, I think Phasmophobia is the surefire win here.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Mortar Shell is it's at first it seems like a Demon Souls or
it's a pretty good Souls like from what I've heard.
It's Souls-like experience. Yeah, that's what I was told, and what I've seen a little bit of the gameplay. I'm not a fan of that personally, but doesn't mean I hate it. It's just that's not me. And yeah, so I guess the Souls people would like Mortar Shell, but at the same time, does that cancel out the amount of people that love Phasmophobia? Probably not.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, that's why my vote's going to be, and my guess is Phasmophobia is going to win this one. Sora?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same. Carrion is a good game. I heard Mortal Shell is a pretty decent in the Souls-like, but I think Phasmophobia is going to take it. It's just too popular.
All right. Kente, last but not least.
Yeah, I'll say definitely Phasmophobia is going to win for sure because it's a really fun game and I love hearing Gotcha scream. So
yeah, and for those in the chat, a couple people mentioned Genshin. I do not believe that Genshin released in the window of time that makes it apply for this year, even though it's still 2020.
It's just not an indie studio. It's just not an indie studio.
Is it still in here? Somewhere?
No, it's in here. It's in
it's in here.
Best roleplay and best mobile game.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Mobile. So it's falling under mobile.
We're gonna see it
that makes
soon.
sense.
Yep. I was gonna say you're gonna see it. Yeah.
Because I mean, technically, it could fall into this category as well, but I guess they just put it in the mobile.
I think because it has like more nominations that can work for it. I think they probably put it.
It's simply because it isn't made by an indie studio. That's it.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's also true.
That makes sense.
MiHoYo is not an indie. Yeah.
No, they're a juggernaut. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's our thoughts on best debut. Let's move up to best multiplayer. So, yeah, okay. Well, we're gonna skip the content creator.
All right, buddy.
No, the answer is Tim the Tap Man. I mean, you could say Valkyrie because she's neat, cute, good-looking, makes good Among Us collaborative live streams, but you can't beat Tim the Tap Man in terms of laughs. So, just for pure comedic purposes, I picked him. But we can move on to the next one.
Well, we'll have an own video about that at some point. But all right, so multiplayer. We got Animal Crossing, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, Ultimate Knockout, and Valorant. So this is a very big breadth of
That
like
is a big
genres here.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you've got the hardcore shooters in Call of Duty and Valorant. You got the more casual players with like Animal Crossing, and then you've got somewhere in the middle between Among Us and Fall Guys. So, what are your guys' thoughts?
Let's
So-
be honest, there's two. I mean,
I'm
it's
gonna do it.
against two people. It's definitely against two people. I mean, I
Yeah,
know that there could be an
really.
argument for Warzone, Valiant, but you know, looking at this category, you know who is fighting it out for best.
We know who's gonna
Well,
win it already.
Not necessarily. I mean,
would
I
say.
think it could go either way between Among Us and Fall Guys. Both
No,
of them-
no, I'll interject there. Fall Guys isn't gonna win. Fall
Yeah, no,
Guys has
Fall Guys
called out
is
so
fought
much.
out. Yeah,
I would say
Pun
Fall
intended, by the way.
Guys.
Pun intended. No, Fall Guys has fallen out quite a bit amongst the
Yeah.
general public.
to be
It's
honest,
not-
I was gonna say Warzone might be
Warzone?
Look,
it's gonna be
this
in
one
my
could
opinion,
go.
it's gonna be between Among Us. Among Us is gonna take it away in my
Yeah,
opinion,
Among
by
Us
Yeah,
for
far.
sure.
agreed.
Yeah,
By a far
definitely.
margin.
I would
I
say
think close second or between second and third, it's probably going to be between Animal Crossing and Warzone. Fall Guys, I think while it had that impact for like the 2-3 months it was there. It was there only for the 2-3 months, and then you've not heard of it since, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've
Agreed.
not heard of it. Dime out of that game at
No,
all.
even the season 2 didn't really create too many waves and didn't
No.
bring the game
No.
back. Like,
Unfortunately not. So yeah, no, for me I think like Among Us has that, obviously it's currently obviously still extremely
Still huge.
popular. Warzone, it's Call of Duty, so it's going to survive anyways, and you're gonna hear it from, a lot of like the top streamers like Tim the Tatman, Vicstar123, and the other guys as well. And then you've got Animal Crossing, who's gonna draw in the hardcore Nintendo fans. I think those three are gonna be your contenders definitely out of all of these
exactly.
five.
now I have to be
completely
the
agree.
outlier voice. I'm not a fan of Valorant, but I do understand how enormously impactful Riot Games is on the gaming hemisphere. So Valorant definitely still has a chance. I mean, not as many people are interested in it as the casual audiences these other games bring, but it still probably has a pretty dedicated following.
Well, here's the thing. You got to remember that the Game Awards are primarily North American centric. Valorant has a huge Asian following, right? Because Riot Games is an Asian company, Chinese company, so and they made it work on like bare minimum specs, right? Which is kind of exactly what the Asian market looks like. You can get by at like a PC cafe or a band cafe, whatever you want to call it, on like minimal specs and play Valorant all you want. So if this was incorporating all of the votes, like if the Asian people really cared about the Game Awards, I would even say that they might take it over with Valorant. But in my opinion, they don't really care too much about the Game Awards because again, it's seen more as a North American centric kind of system that there won't be that many votes cast for it. But I just want to make that caveat because if this was worldwide, like this was everybody was included, this would be a lot closer than you would think, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I can agree with that. Valorant is definitely more for the Asia side. I mean, you see so many people play it, and I'm gonna preach to a demographic that a lot of people might not know about, but a lot of VTubers and stuff play it, and a lot of the Asia community watch those VTubers, and it's a very popular game for those for that demographic and for those content creators. So, like you mentioned, like if it was more worldwide, I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So
Honestly, I think you guys are underrating the competitive FPS scene a bit. It's a much wider range that you guys might think, honestly.
For which
Competitive
game?
shooters?
Valorant?
Yeah, it's.
Oh no,
it's
I'm right
actually
with you.
quite
I'm the
big.
one who said that. They might not be as vocal as all the people mindlessly tweeting about Among Us and Fall Guys on Twitter, but there's still a huge community around that game.
Yeah. Especially considering that Valorant was hyped up as a CS:GO follow-up, so to speak. It's got a really big piece of public.
So,
Yeah.
it might be the underdog. So I mean, not underdog, but underdog to us in our little
Dark
bubble
horse.
here. But
the
it
dark
might-
horse, the dark
Yeah.
horse to win it.
Oh yeah,
that's
no,
what I
definitely. I definitely think it's a dark horse. I just don't. Fall Guys is the one that I think is gonna be far
Yeah.
in between last place, for
I mean,
sure.
Yeah, and
First-person shooters, I think it's quite easy to say that they're probably one of the most popular kind of genres at all gaming. Like everybody seems to be the top of the list. They love to go for first-person shooters, but Among Us, I think, has just captured something. I mean, you've got this massive crossover appeal. You see, I know that not everybody's on YouTube and stuff, but it's brought together so many different crossovers for creators, like people like Ninja who normally play Fortnite, people who do card openings and stuff. They've brought them all together onto one video, and they're blown up. And I just think it's captured the public in a way that it's going to do really well here, and I think it's going to take it. I do agree that one of the first-person shooters, yeah, they've got a good shout, but I just can't see past Among Us, honestly.
yeah, it honestly
Yeah.
depends
Yeah,
on
you're not
what.
wrong, man.
It depends on what camp turns out more to vote. If the esports crowd makes up the majority of the voter base here, I think Valorant could win. But if enough casual gamers turn up to vote, I think Among Us is probably the surefire win.
Also, in a certain sense, League of Legends fans could vote for Valorant simply because
That's
it's
true.
from Riot, and we all know how big League of Legends is.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
the Riot fan base could turn out in droves to vote this one. But I guess we'll have to find out. I picked Among Us because I've had more
I
fun.
pick Among Us too.
I've had the most fun with Among Us out of anything on this list, so that's
I-
where my vote
yeah.
lies.
I think a lot of us would basically say Among Us for this one.
I would say, I think we all kind of
Yeah,
agree for the most
basically,
part.
yeah.
Okay.
only
If you had to put money
Also,
on it,
one-
who's taking this? So if you're hard and fast, who do you think's taking it?
Probably Among
Us.
Us.
I still say
Among Us,
Among
yeah.
Us or Valorant. Also,
Yeah,
one last thing.
No, I was just gonna
Sorry?
say I'll put 10 gifted subs on Among Us. If it doesn't win, I'll give 10 gifted subs.
All right.
Quote me on that.
There you go.
One last thing before we move up. Honestly, I don't think Animal Crossing should belong this here.
I don't think
Because-
so either, because it's the multiplayer scale of them. That's not the priority of the game. It's not
Yeah,
like
it has multiplayer, but it could very well be not to exist. That's not really the point of the game.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
come to my
Really
island
innovate
and
or anything.
look
The
at my
multiplayer in
island.
that game is so small, isn't it too? Or it's like not too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
just-
just visit
Yeah, from what I know.
and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of agree with you because the core gameplay isn't multiplayer as opposed to Among Us. It's not like,
Right.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah. No.
I could see that argument, but I guess they had to throw something to
Most-
grab other.
Most
grab
of the
people.
rest of these games, other than Call of Duty with its single player mode, but all the rest of them don't even exist without multiplayer. Meanwhile, Animal Crossing,
Right.
Animal Crossing out of all of them holds its own as a game with no multiplayer just fine. Call of Duty, you lose half the experience, if not 70% of it, but it still could function as a single player game. Among Us, Fall Guys, Valorant can't even exist without multiplayer.
Oh no, this is Warzone. Warzone without multiplayer straight up doesn't exist.
Yeah, the Warzone mode specifically. Yeah, you're right. That's multiplayer only. So it's really only Animal Crossing that stands as a single player game where the others can't.
All right. So I guess we're on an agreement. Among Us with best multiplayer probably will win. I put 10 gifted subs. So let's move up to best sports and racing. Like I don't play sports games or racing games.
Yeah, me too as well.
This will be FIFA or NBA.
I mean,
I don't-
Yeah. Well, even
can
Tony
talk-
Tony Hawk got a lot too.
Yeah,
It
I
did,
think
Wait.
but I don't think it would be FIFA 21.
I mean, it depends. I mean, right,
'Cause
Formula One
that player base
2000
is crazy.
Formula One 2020. Codemasters have been smashing it with the Formula One games.
Well,
They-
I was just gonna say their esports has been popping off, especially with COVID going on now and whatnot. And they've made much more technological advancements and stuff like that as well in the game as well. And now they're also on the topic of that. This is something that maybe we could have covered also in a video or something. Is that Take-Two have put in like a bid of like $973 million on Codemasters to buy basically buy the company, so that they can get basically stuff like Dirt, F1, and other stuff from them. So I mean, it's a growing franchise as well. So I think definitely F1 has an outside chance, but based on obviously just sheer popularity, I think for a lot of people, it's probably going to be FIFA or NBA for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of
Well,
nostalgia with Tony Hawk. I think there might be some, but it's not going to be as much as the other three games, I think.
You're the big
And-
Formula One. You're the big Formula One guy in here because you're the one I normally see tweeting about it and stuff like
Yep,
that.
I
You-
do
you
too.
know,
about
obviously,
Formula 1. I mean, I am
I've
studying.
interacted with you, and I'm into
Yeah.
Formula One as well. And obviously, when it was all shut down, they were doing the virtual races, playing Formula One. Do you know-
Yep.
So it put a lot more eyes on the product and stuff, and I feel that
Mhm.
that could have got more people into the game. I personally think out of all of these games, from a technical point of view, Formula One's the best game. FIFA
Yeah.
gets slight upgrades every year, but it's hugely popular, especially if Europeans vote on it. I mean, FIFA would.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
Europeans
this-
vote on this, FIFA is scalping all of these hands down. The only thing is, Tony Hawk's, it's the first time they've done a good Tony Hawk's game in so long. They've actually done Tony Hawk's the way Tony Hawk used to be, and it holds so much nostalgia for people. I think it could be an outside bet to possibly take it, especially because the Game Awards tends to be the popular vote a lot of times. So I would maybe look at Tony Hawk's being the outsider and maybe the dark horse for this one, and he might take it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's why I was going to come in and say this is another one that's highly dependent on how much of the international community turns out to vote. Like, if the international community votes, FIFA wins with millions of votes ahead of everything
Yeah, but
else.
you also have to consider that majority of the people that, at least like here in Europe, play FIFA don't even know the Game Awards exist. They have a console for FIFA, they have a console for Call of Duty, and that's it. They barely even know what a video game is. They don't care. They straight up don't care. So
yeah,
FIFA,
so that's what I made.
Yeah.
FIFA has a lot of players, but not many of them actually care. So I don't see,
Yeah, most of those
see
people-
many of them voting.
Most of those people don't even realize they're basically playing a gacha. They're addicted to Ultimate Team, and it's essentially
Yeah,
just a
pretty
gacha.
much.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
I
alright.
think definitely I think the UK portion of the FIFA community will definitely pop up for the Game Awards. I feel not a majority of them, but like quite a bit of them. But yeah, majority of, if you go full of all of Europe, then no, definitely not. I don't think none of them care about the Game Awards as much.
No, I agree there, but Britain would definitely, UK Britain, whatever you want to call us, would
Yeah.
definitely vote for the FIFA camp. Although there's going to be a portion with Formula One, but obviously
Yeah.
football is the daddy of sports here, so
Yeah, it's
that would get a vote.
Yeah, I think FIFA wins unless the community doesn't turn out to vote for whatever reason, and then I think honestly Tony Hawk might win. If not,
Yeah,
think Tony Hawk- I
I
think
would
Tony
probably
Hawk
put
might win.
those as the two.
Yeah, I don't have a definitive vote, but yeah, Tony Hawk, FIFA, those are my two picks.
My
picked
personal
Dirt just
vote
because
would
I
be
like-
Formula One. I would vote Formula One
Oh
personally.
yeah,
That would
same.
be my
I mean,
personal
yeah, I have to agree with Hazing. I'd probably go for Formula One, but that's a personal point of view. The one that I know will win will probably be FIFA.
yeah,
Lethal, Kensei, any thoughts? Any picks?
Probably just like, I mean, I want Tony Hawk to win, but like pretty much everybody else is saying, I probably think FIFA would take this. That's the only game that I've ever heard anything about. Not too much about 2K anymore. And again, I don't know too much about like Dirt and F1, so that's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kensei?
I'll probably say FIFA would definitely win because actually that's more popular. So I definitely would say that's gonna win. So I don't really play too many sports games at all. So yeah, I'll definitely say that's
Okay.
gonna win.
But if we're keeping notes here, my pick 2 win is going to be Tony Hawk's. I think Tony Hawk's will win. I just think that Formula One should win.
Okay. All right. Well, again, let's move on to the next one. Best sim/strategy.
I
don't-
know any of these.
I was like, who touched one of these games?
Yeah, no,
I think I have a theory on this one, right? I'm pretty sure Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to win because
Yeah, I
they
do too.
Yeah, that's what I was
hoard.
thinking.
They literally Microsoft hoard the hell out of this game. They paid so many content creators like PewDiePie, like Dr. Disrespect. Even I watched their streams, both of them, and neither of them had any idea how to fly a plane, nor were they at all interested in the game. They were just playing it because they were paid to play it. The other games, I mean, they have some like reputation behind them, like Gears of War, but I don't think that Gears Tactics will have a chance of dethroning Microsoft Flight Simulator. XCOM is also an extremely good game, but it is somewhat underground. Like, I don't know overall how many people
the
are...
strategy genre as a whole is not really that popular.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think it's a little too underground, and just based... And the other two games, Desperados and Crusader Kings, I know nothing about. So just based off of how much money Microsoft put into putting this game in front of sets of eyes, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Microsoft Flight Sim.
and I mean it's also one of the, like frankly speaking, compared to whatever I've seen of Gears Tactics and XCOM, it's also probably arguably the most prettiest out of the lot. So just visually, people will go for it because it looks pretty.
Yeah, I mean, XCOM, normally they have good. I played a couple of XCOM games.
Oh,
they're fun,
Yeah,
but
they're great.
the Chimera Squad is a it's cheaper version. It's like I think like
Yeah.
$20 or something like that. So it was like a it wasn't a AAA title, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It wasn't
same
a full
concept of
release,
Gear
is what
Tactics.
you're saying.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
I think it was actually $10 when it launched for a while. They done a deal. If you got in early, you got it
Yeah.
for like $10 or something like that. I agree there. I think they tried to get in front of a wider audience base with it because the XCOM games are fantastic, but they're niche. Somebody touched on it already. They're definitely a niche title. I mean, but personally, I don't really see the appeal of Microsoft Flight Simulator. But I mean, this is best sim strategy, so I suppose that's what's going to take it.
Yeah, I really think Flight
Yeah,
Sim's
I'm
gonna
gonna
win.
take your word for it. I
Agreed.
don't know.
I mean, you can literally sit down in flights, and I'm not saying this appeals to everybody, but you can literally sit down in that game and learn how to fly a plane. Like, if you were in some type of air disaster and everyone else in the plane died except for you.
I mean, I'll say this as a university student. This is it is a software we use for aeronautics and astronautics, and so I mean that goes to show how good it is as a simulator.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
You literally could learn how to fly a plane using that software.
Nah,
It's
can
so
we
good.
get a playthrough of this on the 5-9 gaming channel?
Dude, I'll play it because I already know how to fly a plane. I guarantee you I could get in the 737 and take off and land in that thing. Guarantee. I know all the trim settings. I know how to use the radio to get in touch with all the traffic controllers. I mean, I played like a good 200 hours worth of Flight Sim. That's not a lot, but I mean, I played enough to know my way around an emergency landing.
Struggle to fly a plane in GTA 5, I would be screwed.
Look, there is roughly a 30% chance y'all don't die with me if I have to emergency land the plane.
30%
That's
Hey, it's
good.
better than the 0%.
That makes me feel
chance.
better, Nas.
Hey, that's some good odds.
That's basically a 1 out of 3 chance that you don't die.
All right. Okay. So let's. I guess we're all kind of picking Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Microsoft Flight.
Yeah.
All right, best family. I like this one. I think this
All right,
is
best
good.
family.
Yeah,
Let's
this
go with
one's
this
good.
one. So, mostly Nintendo games for the most part. Animal Crossing, Crash Bandicoot 4, Fall Guys, Mario Kart Live. Okay, let's be real. Mario Kart in general is not a family-friendly game, at least when you play with us.
Yeah.
Minecraft Dungeons, Paper Mario. So
There's only 2 options on this list. There's really only one option because you know Animal Crossing is going to
We
win.
all know, Animal
Yeah,
Crossing.
I would say Animal Crossing.
But Minecraft Dungeons is probably an honorable mention.
Yeah.
I voted for Mario Kart.
I wonder if the innovation of Mario Kart is going to help it a bit. I mean, because it is quite innovative what they've done. I mean, yeah, it's probably not as deep as most Mario Kart games, but I mean, for the actual category family, something like that, especially if you've got like 200 quid and you've bought 2 of them, it's definitely going to unite the family and, do you know what I mean, get you playing. And it's
Yeah,
something
I feel like
completely
it's the most
different.
apt for the category. And it's also, honestly, the most innovative because having Mario Kart in real life is quite cool, honestly.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think it's something different. They've been looking for something. I mean, yeah, it's not Mario Kart 9 that most people want. Hopefully that'll not obviously
Nor is it Mario Party,
knock
dang
it
it.
down. What's that?
I said, nor is it Mario Party. We need another new Mario Party. A good one.
A good one, too.
Yeah,
The last one
yeah,
wasn't the greatest.
but I don't know. I just feel innovation might tip it in its favor. But you're probably right. Animal Crossing.
Animal
Yeah.
Crossing taking 100%.
Yeah, that game sold so much within like 6 months. I remember that was all
Yeah.
over the news. It sold like what, like 14 million something million. It was crazy.
Yeah,
You can't buy
it became
It helped so
Nintendo's
much.
one of its best-selling products.
I
Effectively.
mean, you can't buy Mario Kart Live now, though. I mean, people are scalping that thing for like $200. So, I mean, obviously, it's semi-popular unless it was a low print run. I don't know, but you can't buy it for love nor money just now.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Mario. I mean, Animal Crossing is gonna take this one.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, I think
Probably.
pretty easily.
I don't think Animal Crossing is gonna be solely for the fact that you can have only one island per Switch, so playing as a family is quite hard.
No, you could play with 2 players on the same game. You just have to
Yeah,
start.
no, I know that,
Yeah.
but you have to share the same island,
Well,
don't you?
you misunderstand the word. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think that you're misunderstanding the usage of the word family here. When it says best family, I think it just means like best kids game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
what-
age appropriate.
Family
games,
friendly.
like that. Yeah, that's
Family
how I look at it. At
Probably
least.
that's probably
I
it.
mean, the description says for best game appropriate for family play. I mean, the actual wording is right here. To me, that would suggest things like couch co-op and stuff like that. Things that you're actually going to sit and play in your household.
Yeah,
with other
but the
people.
thing is, you also have to remember, like, this game. These are like mentioned, family friendly games. These are games you'll introduce to your kids anyway, so you're not gonna let them be like, oh, here's the controller, have fun and play. You're gonna sit with them,
Right.
you're gonna teach them how to play the game and stuff like that.
But it
Like,
could
Yeah,
also be relegated to
the
you just
Animal
like,
Crossing is one of those games you're gonna be like, oh, here's the controller, this is how you do this, now go around, I'll help you around, and this is how you do it, basically, kind of thing. So that's how I perceive it, as a family game, sort of, as well. Like, one of the games I would count as a family game.
My son's 7 and I taught him how to play Grand Theft Auto and Just Cause. Can I count
I
that
mean,
as a
I
family game?
started with Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. Everybody has a different way to go about it. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I used to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City as well when I was like 6 or
yeah.
7. But it's everybody has different ways of learning.
No, I know.
Yeah.
either way, just based off of raw popularity, I think Animal Crossing is the
Yeah.
surefire
Yeah.
winner.
You're probably
Like
right.
it already made it into the category, so regardless of whether it belongs there or not, I think it's going to dominate this category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Best fighting. So let's start out with Kensei, because he, you're more of a fighting FGC person yourself.
Whoa.
Look at this
belong-
category.
I'm right here too.
Okay.
I know,
I'm also
but
right here.
Kensei's always talked to me about FGCs. I'm like, all
This is
right,
my
but okay, well, before we
Go
start
ahead,
off,
Kensei, take the floor.
All right. So
Grand Blue Fantasy, right? Let's talk about it.
okay, I haven't played Grand Blue Fantasy Versus because I haven't. It's pretty much just like Street Fighter in a way. It's pretty much anime Street Fighter, but I haven't got a chance to play that game, so I don't know anything about it. But I do see a bit of players playing it. I saw Maximilian dude playing that, and it was interesting. But of course, that game is just like it has waifus in it, so people mostly play that for the waifus. I did play Mortal Kombat 11. I do love that game. It's pretty much a footsie game, so it's like kind of like Street Fighter also as well. We have to pretty much guess what your opponent it's gonna do. So I don't know if Mortal Kombat would win.
Oh, it's gonna win.
Definitely for sure it's gonna win because there's also Street Fighter 5 as well for
Those are
the
the only
Champion
two.
Edition as well. But most likely with Street Fighter 5, there's a lot of controversy with that game. Like that game did not start out really, really well when it first launched. It was just terrible. But slowly they've been fixing it, and in the Champion Edition, pretty much fixed everything about it, but not everything. So there's a little bit of stuff that the Street Fighter 5 is still having issues with. And I don't know why One Punch Man is in there.
Yes.
I don't know why. Like,
Come on,
why
we all know
is
One Punch
that
is gonna win.
game? No, that game. I have no idea what's that game, and literally, why is
It just
that game there? Just
same thing with Under Night and Birth Execute. Who
Yeah.
the hell has heard of that? No.
I heard about that. I did. It was an Evo for sure. That game was definitely an Evo as one of the top games to be streamed on Sunday.
If you're into the fighting game scene,
Yeah.
you've heard of
Yeah.
Under Night.
Exactly, but it's very popular. But I don't really play it as much, or I don't really know about anything like that. So for me personally, I would think either Mortal Kombat 11 seems like it's gonna win because it has a lot of guest characters. It has Rambo, it has the Terminator, it has all these guest characters that nobody even has. Like literally, the only one who has that is very much like Mortal Kombat. Remember, if you
Spawn.
played the X, it has like Leatherface. It has all these guest characters. That's why. Personally, I do love Mortal Kombat about that because it has guest characters, and so I would definitely put Mortal Kombat 11 to be the number one pick to win this category.
Yeah,
win the
not
feat
to
game.
crap
I'll-
on Under Night or Grand Blue or Street Fighter, but this seems to be primarily a Western show. Like this is a show hosted in America, just due to that fact, I would give Mortal Kombat the win over Street Fighter. But Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat are really the only two on this list. Like,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
they could have very
Well,
well
like,
put Dragon Ball Fighters back on here instead of One Punch Man, and then it would have.
Well, that's what I was going to say about One Punch Man. I own the 3 games in the middle. I wouldn't really look at One Punch Man as a traditional fighting game in that sense. I don't, even when I play it, I don't see it that way. I think it's between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, but I think Mortal Kombat will take it. But there's actually a fighting game, I'm not sure if it came out this year or not though. It's called Dem Fighting Herds, and basically it's basically like Street Fighter except it's barnyard animals, but it's awesome. It's got all the mechanics of Street Fighters and stuff like that. It's got a brilliant net code. You can get great fights with it online, and I'm surprised that something like that never made it on this list over and above One Punch
Yeah, I
Man.
was surprised too when
don't
the
know.
Fighters didn't make it, but One Punch Man did. Why waste that game there?
Yeah,
I
it makes
mean, it's
no sense.
Bandai's.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
pretty much Bandai's throwaway, pretty much. For here you go. We'll give you
Yeah.
one category, I suppose.
But for the
Alright,
same
so-
reasons that you've said, I think Mortal Kombat, the crossovers, Rambo, Terminator, RoboCop, stuff like that. How many times can you get RoboCop and Terminator facing off against each other one on one?
Exactly.
And have Arnie voicing it and Arnie's face in it? I mean, it's just it's there. It's brilliant. I mean, yeah, it's great. I can't wait to try out the PS5 version. I've got it from a PS4, so I get the free conversion to PS5. I want to try that out ASAP.
I need to
Honestly,
reinstall
yeah.
it.
I don't really like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter being here either because they're re-releases. I think Street Fighter is like the third re-release it got to. It's kind of absurd. So, like,
I'd agree with that.
it's a bit disingenuous to put it as best fighting game of 2020 when it's at 2018, 2019.
I mean, the
game,
same thing you
Mortal
could say
Kombat 11.
for. You could say the same thing for when we get to. I mean, I'm jumping a bit ahead, but you could say the same for a lot of games like Among Us and stuff. For why are they here when they're 2018 games and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
but they never got to put in
Yeah,
the
but that
Game Awards.
doesn't
That's
change
the
the
thing.
that doesn't change the fact that they were back then. So
Yeah, I know that. It's
it's
just
kind of. I
a
see what you
personal
mean,
thing.
but if you're gonna point fingers at every game, then we can point fingers at other games as well. It's very hard to kind of do these, and you just have to go off what people choose. So
But I see his point
unfortunately,
for
yeah.
Street Fighter in particular, because Street Fighter is basically a
Yeah.
new fighters pass. They add some
Yep.
new fighters, and it's now on here. So technically, by that token, when they brought out Season Pass 3 for fighters, Dragon Ball fighters, that could qualify. Do you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't
Yeah.
they haven't rebanded the game Dragon Ball
Mhm.
Fighters Ultimate Edition, but they could do that. And would that then qualify it for this category? Because do you know what I mean? I'd say.
I
that
mean,
that's-
at the same time, they did also win in 2018, so that might be a reason why they couldn't qualify it, maybe because it's already got an award.
It's not 2020, but if they look at Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, this is not the original Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
The original Street
Right.
Fighter 5 definitely did not come out in 2020. So
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
if Dragon
the-
Ball
for-
Fighters did do like an Ultimate Edition, then they would be able to reapply. I would. Think.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
Champion Edition of Street Fighter 5, they changed, like, I guess, mechanics too, like balance and stuff. So it's not the same game as the original one, both in terms of roster and the way it plays. So technically speaking, it's just a whole other game. It sounds
Yeah,
pretty
pretty much.
It sounds terrible to say, well, yeah, it's the same game, but it's not. Either way, I agree with you guys. I think Mortal Kombat 11 is going to win it. I think
Yep.
Grand Blue has like a dark horse chance to be second.
Yeah, I
not
was
first,
gonna
but
say-
second.
Gran Blue
I was
in
gonna say
Asia,
because the
it's
thing is, you have.
huge.
Yeah, I was gonna say Grand Blue as a franchise is very, very popular.
Huge.
It's got a gacha game that's going on for 6 years. It's on the level of like
Almost
Epco
seven,
and
yeah.
almost 7. Sorry, yeah. It's on its 7th year now, technically. Yeah, it's on par with like Dokkan and Epco in terms of longevity. It's very, very popular. So, yeah, I think if again, like, it's the same thing like we mentioned for Valorant and stuff like that. If it was a bit more widespread and
Yeah.
international, then Grand Blue would have probably won by quite a margin.
Yeah.
I would just like to
Just
point
put
out
it
that
out there.
I'd never noticed this before. I have it highlighted on the screen and I'm circling it like nonstop. But Street Fighter 5
that's why the game was bad at the start.
is made by Dimps. That's the same people that make Legends. That's hilarious.
And Xenoverse.
And
Tell
yeah,
Toshi to
and they're all
stop-
bad.
Toshi to stop working on DLC packs for Street Fighter and get back to Legends. And then Grand Blue is made
Alright.
by the same people that make Dragon Ball Fighters, so that's interesting to note
Right.
as well.
They're-
Well,
they're-
same
even
thing
Arcs-
with Under Night.
yeah.
Yeah, same thing. The Arc system works. I mean, they're known for their fighting games, right?
Yeah.
Mostly
Yeah.
anime fighting games.
Mhm.
So, if you see an anime fighting game, it's probably Arc system works.
I'm still
are-
I'm still hoping that they get given the license to the J Stars thing and they do a Marvel versus Capcom style thing and like use the
Why?
fighters engine and do that for J Stars. I think that would be
Didn't
awesome.
you
my
like
God.
Jump Force?
That
Yeah, Jump Force.
Jump Force
I
is
would say it was
terrible.
Jump Force.
Wow.
I'd rather have Jump Force in the best fighting
still
game
can't
than One Punch Man.
I mean, to be fair, Jump Force did get nominated last year. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no.
All right.
Jump Force bad, but I think in terms of what is common about Marvel vs. Capcom, that's on Disney right now. Like Disney has poo-pooed their relationship with Capcom.
Oh no,
and
I
fighting
don't
games.
mean that. I just mean take the style of Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh, the style, like
and
Dragon Ball
use,
Fighters.
use the
Yeah.
J-Star, use the J-Star license, so it's a 2D fighter, and you've got like the JoJo characters and stuff, and you can swap between them. I think that would be absolutely awesome if they done that rather than a 3D brawler. I think it would be really good if they just took
All right.
the fighter style but added in the J-Stars license for the next one. I think that would be awesome.
Alrighty. So we
So-
spent a lot of time on fighting games. I think we're all in pretty much contention that are in agreement. Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Best role-playing game. All right, this is.
All right, right here. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna say Persona 5 Royal. That is my best game. That is actually my number one game of all time.
But then again, it's the same problem of it was here last year as well, though. It's
Yeah,
the same
no,
thing.
Persona
with
5,
Persona
it's
5.
an entirely different experience.
I mean, you
It's
say
just like
that,
the original
but
game, but they added like a 20-hour DLC to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
they had
pretty
a
much.
more story, a more character development, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
like this game is actually like this. Actually, if you actually played a Final Fantasy VII remake and of course Genshin Impact, this game has like 100 hours of gameplay. Like, of course, most likely it's mostly dialogue, but it has like 100 hours. Like, I have my first gameplay of Royal was like 100 hours, like literally 100 hours, and I don't know what like the characters get you into the story as much as possible.
It's like
So-
play watching an anime, literally.
Yeah, pretty much it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So like it's really good. So I mean, also Final Fantasy VII remake could actually also win because remember it's a really old game and it's a remake and old people that love that game.
I think
Highly
Genshin
you're
nostalgic.
Impact could
you're
just
calling us
win.
old.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
If money
Console.
if money talks, Genshin Impact wins because they just made like $300 million
Yeah.
already.
I
Right.
don't think Genshin will win. I think Persona 5 possibly has the type of fan base that would encourage other people to go to this site and vote. I feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
Persona
yeah.
5
Right,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like-
I totally agree.
Okay,
I totally agree
think
with
it
that.
counteracts
Yeah,
that. I
everything
know I know Persona fans, and I don't think they care too much about awards. they're the type of people who will just we've got a good game, we've got the best game, and just roll
Yeah,
with
pretty
that.
much. Yeah.
They don't really care about awards and stuff. I'll counteract to that because I know Persona fans personally.
Right, fair enough. I don't know. I think it's between Persona or Final Fantasy. I can
Oh
get
no,
why
yeah,
right
definitely.
now-
I think
Yeah,
I
yeah.
personally would put it between those two. I think obviously I personally give the edge to Final Fantasy because of
People-
the name, but yeah.
People watching this stream are probably typing furiously right now, Genshin, right? But I just don't see Genshin taking it somehow. I just
Surprisingly
Yeah,
not.
no,
Everybody's saying P5R or Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people
I
in the
wouldn't
Genshin
want
camp.
Genshin to win this.
I personally, I think it'll be a dark horse. It has a possibility of winning it. I just don't think it should win.
Yeah,
either, to
I
be
would
honest.
be happy with Royal 100%.
I'll take
Well-
Royal or FF7.
I'm gonna be the outsider and say that Yakuza is a really, really good game and also has a chance.
Oh
said
no,
it.
I agree. I will also agree with that. Yakuza, I haven't played Like a Dragon, but I have played the older ones, and
Yeah,
that's
Yakuza
very good
has
game.
an actually pretty big fan base, believe
Yeah.
it or not.
Yeah.
Probably not
Yeah, but
bigger
it's-
than Final Fantasy, but
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'd say that-
I mean, yeah.
Just
No, I
compare
Lisa,
agree
go
to
ahead.
the size and everything of the fan base. I feel like Final Fantasy definitely has like that big fan base. For them to come up for Final Fantasy VII Remake for this year, I feel like it definitely has a good chance.
Yakuza could do well. I mean, a lot of the old Shenmue community kind of crossed over to Yakuza as well, didn't it? So, but I do still think that Final Fantasy is going to probably take it. If not Final Fantasy, maybe Persona.
has anyone ever
Yeah.
heard of Wasteland?
I've never even
Okay.
heard of it.
Yeah, neither have I. so-
I haven't even heard of it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and neither
I've
have
heard of it. I've
I know
never
the
played it.
company. I've heard of Deep Silver, but I've never heard of the game.
Well, here's my thing. All right, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be between FF7 and Persona 5 Royal, but Genshin Impact. I don't know if it wins. I'm not saying it's going to, but if it does win, that changes the landscape because that means that people see gacha gaming, even though it is a gacha game, but most of the people don't even see it that way. They just see it as like a Breath of the Wild ripoff. But that will put gacha gaming in the forefront, and that's going to be big in terms of the landscape. But in terms of the award, I think it's FF7 remake or Persona 5 in that order.
I made a tweet a couple of days ago saying I think this is the first gacha game we've had in a video game awards ever, like any gaming awards. I don't think we've ever had it in like an international one. Of course, I think Japanese wise, I've seen FGO win awards for game and win in Japanese gaming awards. That is to say, but this is the first time in an international like environment in an international awards game show or a US game show, game awards show. This is the first time we've seen it. This is the first time we've seen a gacha game.
If it wins, do you think they'll give you free Primo Gems?
Bribery.
They probably
how
will.
things get done.
All right. So I guess we're all in agreement. It's more or less FF7 or Persona 5.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agreed.
I'd
Yeah.
put a dark horse and say Genshin as well, but that's a dark horse. That's the third place.
I think Genshin has a strong possibility to win if money talks, but otherwise it's Persona versus Final Fantasy.
Yep.
And then honestly, my second honestly, I think Persona 5 might take it just because Final Fantasy has some controversy surrounding it being 3 parts long and it's not technically finished yet, and then some people don't like how they altered the plot a little bit because the game is now, I'm not going to spoil too much, but the game is now self-aware of its own existence 20 years ago.
Yeah, basically.
And it plays with, like, there are elements of the game that, like, break the fourth wall, basically. So, not everyone liked that. So, I think Persona 5 might take it, but I voted for Final Fantasy 7.
Okay. All right. Well, we're moving on to the next one. Best action/adventure. So for the best action-adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2.
All right, I'm going to take the lead on this one. I
Go ahead.
think the main two are going to be Ghost of Tsushima and Marvel's Spider-Man, but also with The Last of Us, like, right there with them. The reason I say that is because, like, Spider-Man, like, Insomniac Games and everyone else, like, on Twitter and Instagram, like, they have dominated social media. Like, I cannot log into Twitter without seeing, like, multiple Miles Morales posts. And just based off of that and the community's just overwhelming adoration for this game, I think that Spider-Man is going to win. That's my personal thoughts. The Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I played that. I think that it was a great game, but I think it's too old now. Like, it came out at the very beginning of the year, and enough time has passed where it's, like, slipped from people's minds and, you know, slipped enough where it's not going to compete with the other newer games. Last of Us Part 2, hugely popular. Tons of people loved it. It was a lot of controversy surrounding it. A lot of attention was on it. So I think it does stand a very good chance of winning. And my personal choice is Valhalla because I love Vikings. But I think that it's like Star Wars Jedi the Fallen Order, but the opposite. I think it came out too recently for enough people to have had enough hands-on time with it for it to win, even though it probably deserves a shot. And you could say Miles Morales is like the same time frame, but they just dominate social media. Like, they own the PS5 release. They own just a huge spot on social media. I don't see the Assassin's Creed devs really posting on Twitter like at all or anything. But everybody
Also,
talking about
if you
Spider-Man.
played the original Spider-Man, you could also say to a part that you played Miles Morales.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, I'm probably one of the biggest Spider-Man stands that you'll meet. I love Spider-Man to bits, but I think if Spider-Man wins this, there's a lot of recency bias going on because I don't think it's been out long enough for it to really.
But the thing,
with enough people to win this vote, I think whether I agree with the decision or not, because this isn't 100% made up of the popular vote, I think The Last of Us is going to win. I'm not saying I think it should win. I'm just thinking it's going to win, and if it doesn't win, it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima. But I can totally see why you're saying Spider-Man will win. But I just think that's the biggest recency bias.
Well, the
if
thing
it
that The
wins,
Last of Us
Well-
and Ghosts have going for them is they both released in like a perfect time window
Yeah.
to be in
Right.
this
August.
competition. Like they're
I would
still
say,
fresh on
like,
people's
for,
minds. People
yeah, go
like
ahead.
they're still being updated and they're still fresh on people's minds. So,
Yeah, and like
I'll
for
also-
Ghosts,
go ahead.
for Ghosts, there's a lot of like mechanics in that game. Like the combat for the game has like, okay, people played Ghost of Tsushima when like it's been out for like a couple months, right? So people had time to play the game already. And personally, me playing the game and finishing the game, Ghost of Tsushima has like the best action because you can literally kill people. Like you can like do a lot of there's like a stance, like there's a ghost stance, and then there is like a samurai stance. So the combat of the game is literally is just either becoming a ninja, which is really like that's a really fun way to go to, and of course there's a samurai way if you want to pretty much have your honor, which is most of the game is all about. And so like just the game and mechanics itself, just how like the main character just kills these guys is just so amazing and all kind of stuff. And then you also have like different also how you call it, tools as well, like smoke bomb. There's also as well as like what do you call it again, those sticky bombs as well, needles as well for poisoning people. There's a lot of things in that game that I do love about that, and like the action of it is just so amazing as well.
I just think that the Spider-Man game has captivated social media to the point where it's just going to win based off of almost that alone. Because the same people that are
Yeah,
on,
pretty much.
the same people that are on social media spamming about Spider-Man, their videos, their PS5s, their this, their that, swinging through the city, like those are the people that are going to be active online to go vote for something like this too. So.
And I think you're gonna always face that. Recency bias is something that's always plagued any awards show or anything in general. You know, you look at anime, you look at games, everything. Recency bias is always prevalent, so you're not gonna get away from it, unfortunately.
Yeah, basically.
Can I
That's
give
something
an
I definitely fear, real quick. That's something I definitely fear for the recency bias for Cyberpunk 2077. Since it didn't
Yeah.
make it into this year's award show, it's gonna, I feel like it's going to fall into the same camp as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. That was a great game, but now I feel like, because it came out so early, it's not going to get the recognition that it's going to get. That's the one thing I
Yeah.
definitely fear for Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah,
I
I
wanna
think
say
for
no.
Cyberpunk 2077, it'll have to have that same sort of like, how GTA had that consistent like
Right.
bam bam update kind of thing where it'll just
Yeah.
keep doing that. We're gonna be getting. I know they've said that Cyberpunk's probably gonna get multiplayer sometime in the next year. They're dropping the anime for it in like 2020, which is a bit too late, but that's something that you can say as promotional material, of course. So if they do stuff like that where they're consistently like promoting the game and putting it in everybody's faces, like saying, oh, we still exist kind of thing, they'll have a chance. But if you're going to be kind of like what Nas said with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where the Twitter isn't interactive or anything of that sort, it's probably going to fall into that void of obscurity, basically.
I give
I'm
an
gonna have to
honorable
disagree with you on that. Simply because it's cyberpunk. Like
I
it's
think
the
that game.
I mean, you
Steam
could say
project,
that
like-
when the next big game comes out next year.
I mean,
then
once
it's
like
gonna
God
be
of
the
War
same
drop,
thing. There's-
Forbidden,
it-
like all those other
yeah.
games drop, it's gonna be hard to keep thinking about
Yeah,
that.
like,
Unless they
no, I don't
keep
disagree.
supporting it. Yeah.
Yeah, like as you said, it is Cyberpunk 2077, but at the same time, you're gonna be a year late to the Game Awards. You're
Right.
gonna be swamped by other first party titles that are gonna be coming out next year with like
Oh, yeah,
God of
I'm not
War 2.
disagreeing
We're
with that.
getting
Just that-
Horizon. We're getting Horizon 2. We're getting so many new games. It's gonna just get swamped. I don't disagree. It'll still be noticed.
Oh, it'll
but
be nominated for
it'll
sure.
not be nominated, but
100%.
will
Oh,
people
100% getting
care about
nominated,
it?
yeah.
That's a different part altogether.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like just the fact that it's called Cyberpunk 2077.
I mean, to be honest, you
it's
say
gonna be
that,
a
but
strong enough.
you say that, but now when you talk about Cyberpunk, a lot of the times it's regarding the memes, pretty much regarding the whole yellow wallpaper and everything. So, like, there's obviously a lot of negativity with it, and of course a lot of positivity with it right now, of course. But who knows what'll happen in a year's time, depending on how many games release in between now and then.
I honestly don't agree with that. Like the whole, how do I say this? just the fact that it's Cyberpunk 2077. It's the next big project of CD Projekt Red, the Witcher's developers. It's like there's much more of around it than just the game itself.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean-
it's going to be
Yeah.
overwhelming.
I mean,
Cyberpunk-
and to
That's
give
good,
Sora a point too, this game was announced how many years ago? This game was
7 years
announced
ago now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and so the
2013.
fact that it still has the amount of hype that it had 7 years ago, I think that does give a testament to it. But
Well,
you know,
exactly.
yeah, no,
Did
I'm
it
just,
even
just
have,
giving
no,
him.
no, I agree with you, but did it have that hype between 2014 to 2017, 18 when it first got officially shown? I don't think so. I didn't hear about Cyberpunk
Yeah.
2077 until 2017 or 2018 when it got shown at E3 again.
Right.
Like between then, I didn't really care about it or heard about it. I obviously I
yeah,
knew
we
about Witcher
didn't
3.
know anything about the game. No wonder.
Yeah, but
Well,
they
I
did
mean-
announce it. You said you like based off Lethal's point. You know, they said they announced it in 2013, but yeah, they were in development since then. But you didn't hear anything between that 2013 development period until they announced it properly and officially at E3 2018 or whatever it was.
Yeah, because
Well-
we didn't know anything about the game. We just know it existed. No wonder. Once it
Remember,
Well, here's
actually
here's
got
the
revealed.
thing.
No, but
they could
yeah,
also
that's-
release DLC and stuff like that for it, which would bring it back into the public's attention.
Yeah,
Well,
That's what they need to do. 100%.
Yeah, that's like I mentioned, if the Twitter account is super active, they add that multiplayer, they have the promotional material like the anime and stuff, yeah, they'll still be up in people's
Yeah,
faces, but they have to do that.
They have
not
to pull a
something-
ghost. They got to pull
Yeah.
ghost. When you brought out that Legends mode, everybody thought about the game again, and I remember a lot of people
Mhm.
talking about it. So if they pull something like that off, like they did with Ghost, I think that'll help it out for sure.
100%. A new game plus or something like that, whatever they plan on doing, 100%, that'll bring people back in, but they need to do that. If they don't do that, it's gonna fall into an obscurity void.
Well, you're making the assumption that they're going to execute off the bat, which is a good assumption. But let's say the rare case they screw up and it doesn't go as well. Then if the reception immediately for Cyberpunk 2077 is bad, there's like no redemption at all. That makes any
Yeah,
sense.
no, I
Yeah,
agree.
that's
I
true,
agree. There's still a lot riding on launch as well because who knows what will happen with that.
It's funny
Alright.
that we're now discussing a game for next year.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know
Yeah.
how we got sidetracked to it, but the whole point
Yeah.
is, I mean, this one's kind of open field to me. I disagree with Nas saying that Miles Morales. I mean, I agree with the fact that the recency bias will lean towards that social media, but I think the front runner is Ghost of Tsushima to me.
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree with that as well.
I think Ghost
'Cause-
is hugely popular right
Yeah,
now.
that's the one I want
Yeah,
to win for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I want to win too. And I mean, I haven't played all these games because I don't own a PS4 or I haven't gone to any of these. But it feels like from the gameplay I've seen, Ghost of Tsushima is the most appeals the most because you could define your playstyle. What Kensei said, right? You could be the samurai or you could be the stealth style play style. So it came out in like August, which is like the perfect time, right? It's been 3-4 months. People have played it. It's not back in March or February whenever Jedi Fallen Order came out, so people kind of forgot about it by now. I mean, it was a good game from what I've seen, but again, it's just the whole timing period. But I guess that's kind of it. We've spent a lot of time on this. We're gonna have to cut short in about 15-20 minutes. We won't get through all of these, so we'll just have to jump ahead to a few other ones. But is there anything else you guys want to say about the best action adventure?
I still think
Yes.
Last of Us is going to win. I think there's a lot of shaky hands that go on behind the scenes in these things, and I think Last of Us is going to win.
It's
Okay.
definitely possible.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Cool. It is what it
wait,
is.
I was gonna say, I literally hopped in just to say Spider-Man Miles Morales is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it, you should probably get it. I'm sorry to disturb this podcast, but
No, you're fine.
You're good.
You can
Hang
stick around,
if
dude.
you want.
You're good. We about to just stay.
We're actually just going through all the nominees for the Game Awards and giving our thoughts. So if you want to stick around, by all means.
oh yeah, it's time.
Okay. Well, I guess we've got like 10-15 minutes.
I was like, do we want to skip ahead a
I mean,
little bit
we can
more? or do you
stretch
wanna
a
stay
little
with the
bit.
rest?
Yeah.
No, like I feel like we might have to do a part 2.
I'll just do one.
Yeah.
Just do quick picks for each category. Don't spend too much time in talking. Throw out who you think is going to win. Move on.
All right, best action. Everyone just say their pick. Two things: who do they want to win, who they think will win. So we'll just go in order who's in the Discord here. So for best action, we've got Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, Streets of Rage 4. So gotcha.
I really enjoy Doom a lot. So that's like a personal pick for me. And then for the actual win, that's gonna be kind of rough. Half-Life, Half-Life or maybe Neo,
Okay.
but I think Half-Life will probably end up taking it.
Gail?
Probably I'd say want and who should win is probably going to be Hades.
Okay. Hazing?
I want Streets of Rage 4 to win. I think Hades will win.
Okay. Lethal.
I don't want I really played here was Neo, but I want Neo. Oh, actually, no, yeah, I want Neo to win, but what I think is gonna win is Hades because I've been hearing a lot about Hades.
Yeah, same here. Nas?
I think Doom might win just based off of the size of its brand, comparatively speaking. But then it's between Doom and Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx, I don't think because it was mostly VR, wasn't it? So I don't know if it had the level of exposure that these other games did. It's not as many people would have been able to play it.
But it's Half-Life.
But it's Half-Life.
Doesn't need
so
the exposure.
I think it's between Doom and Half-Life mostly. Hades stands a really good chance of being like, out of all of these, like the indie game that wins, kind of. So it's like the game that came out of nowhere that doesn't have a big IP behind it, but still stands a chance of winning. I definitely think it's between those three, for sure.
Okay. Who we got left? Kuba.
I've never played any of these games, so I can't really give my opinion on this one.
I haven't played any games, man. So like, I'm still giving my opinion. So you could, if you have any thoughts, go ahead. But like, or if you don't know, take a guess. Who do you think will win?
Okay, just based on the list, like I do know like how big Doom is and whatnot, but seeing that Hades was nominated for Game of the Year, more than likely it's probably gonna go to Hades.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
for
the
me,
new and fresh versus the old guard, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I mean, Doom Eternal, the combat is so visceral and the music. I mean, I love the music. I want to pick Doom, but I think Hades is gonna win. All right, who's next? Sora?
I'm gonna say this right now. I'm the biggest Hades stan you can ever find. I love that game. It's $20 if you have a PC or a Switch. For the love of God, play it. It's great. Just trust me. It's great.
Like the perfect fusion.
I think
of
Hades is
Diablo.
gonna win, and I hope Hades is gonna win.
Okay, I can say.
Yeah, I think what I want to win is Doom Eternal, but I think the winner is going to be Hades for sure.
Alrighty, let's move on. Let's skip invocation and accessibility. The only one that really plays with the VR is Hazing, so we're gonna just chalk this one up to you for best VR AR. Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadron, and then The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Right, what I want to win is Saints and Sinners. Half-Life Alyx is obviously huge because it's Half-Life IP, and it's a great game as well. But a lot of people can't play it because it can be quite demanding. Dreams is very popular on the PS VR, which might tip it over the edge. But I think Saints and Sinners might win it because it's available on the Oculus Quest. So I'm going to say I think that it might go to Saints and Sinners because it's on most platforms, it's most accessible for people to play, and it's actually a great game. It's really, really good. So I am going to say Saints and Sinners, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Half-Life Alyx.
Okay,
I'm gonna put in my 2 cents in this. I think Half-Life is gonna win, not necessarily because it's Half-Life, but because the game reinvented VR in a certain sense. The way you can interact with the environment, like everything, you feel like you're in the world. It's something you feel like every VR game should do, but none of them really did until Alyx came out.
Okay.
And I think Star Wars Squadrons might stand a chance just because it's accessible outside of VR also, so more people might have something to say about it and they might vote for it. Even if they didn't play it in VR, they still could vote bomb it because they still were able to play it. I don't know. It's possible.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, I have a VR, but I haven't played much of it. And then with Half-Life Alyx, I think you need the Valve Index to really take advantage of it. I think you can still play it on the Quest.
I think you can, but to get the finger experience, you have to...
The full experience, yeah. Which is like $1,000, which for most people
I think that holds it back. That's why I don't necessarily win.
Well, we'll have to see, guys. We'll have to see. All right, let's move up. Beyond best community support, I have no thoughts about that. But let's go with best mobile game.
Fall Guys
I'm
has an
going with
entertaining
Monkey.
Twitter, but No Man's Sky took their game from
Yeah.
absolute dog crap to being really good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
they-
was gonna say No Man's Sky is probably gonna win it just purely based on how they managed to make the biggest comeback I've seen in any
yeah,
gaming.
they
like
did.
any game I've seen, this has probably been the biggest comeback.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's go up to best mobile game.
Legends.
Okay, this can be.
Yeah, Legends
said
is not
Legend.
up there.
Dokkan
so-
Battle.
I know. Where is it at?
Dokkan!
All right, Among Us, Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact, Legends of Runeterra, and Pokemon Cafe Mix.
Probably
Yeah.
Among Us.
A Genshin.
See?
From a
I
quality
mean, Dark
standpoint, I
Horse,
think
Top
Dark Horse
one.
in me is saying Genshin, but Among Us is gonna win.
Yeah.
Well,
Among
not
Us
really
has the
10, though.
bigger footprint by far, but MiHoYo has made so much money off Genshin that it's definitely a contender. Call of Duty, I feel like, is just more of the same. Legends of Runeterra is a card game, so it's not going to be accessible or desirable to everybody. It's going to limit its fan base, but it is Riot Games, stands a chance. And Pokemon Cafe Mix, I don't even really know what that is.
Yeah, it's not even worth
I
it.
don't even know what that
That's
is.
not even worth it at all.
Hey,
It's
they should have just
definitely
thrown in
between-
Masters if they really wanted to be honest. It would've
Oh
had a
god,
better
please
chance.
no Masters, no.
I
Even
think-
it would have had a better chance than Cafe Mix if they had to throw in a Pokemon game. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
I think it's between Among Us and Genshin, and I think Among Us has the bigger footprint.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Pretty much
move
unanimous
on.
there, I think.
Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Best indie. Granted, not all of us have played all the indie games. Carry On, Fall Guys, Hades, Spelunky 2, Spirit Fair.
I'm gonna
Hades?
say Hades,
Well,
just off
everyone
Hades.
mentioned Hades earlier. So.
Yeah.
the replayability of it. I mean, Fall Guys had its moment in the sun, but it is very limited in the scope and scale of what you can do, and it gets boring without friends extremely quickly. Carry On,
Well-
great game, but it was super short. I think Hades wins this one.
I wouldn't say Fall Guys got like super boring without friends, because there are moments where you'll play by yourself, you'll have like a really good time. But I
Right.
think it's more so that when Among Us came through,
Yeah.
that's what
Right.
killed Fall Guys. So yeah, god dang it.
Like Fall Guys still had a big moment. Like I feel that's another thing like to remember that too. Like I mean, because we're all saying Hades because Hades came out more recently than Fall Guys, but I feel like when Fall Guys did come out, Fall Guys did have a big impact at the
Yeah.
time
Actually,
when there weren't really
no,
any games to play.
Hades came.
No. Yeah, you're right. That has been out.
Was put in early access like 1 year ago, something like that. So it's
Yeah.
not
Did it
really a new
Did
release.
it not launch at the same time as the Epic Store?
Mm,
Yeah. So
Maybe
the
Well, no,
early
yeah,
Hades,
they
access-
want-
Hades was actually
the
out for a
1.0
while, I think.
update, yes, but the actual game you could play it way before.
Right.
I don't know. I it's between Hades and Fall Guys to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I
right.
just
It's a
go with
toss-up.
this. I can't say anything other than Hades.
I'll stick with
Uh,
Hades as well.
Let's go with best ongoing here. Moving up.
No Man's
Apex
Sky is
Legends.
not
No
winning
Man's
this.
Sky.
Destiny 2.
No Man's
Yeah,
Sky.
I think No Man's Sky is gonna win that.
Yeah.
I mean, but Fortnite could probably win it too.
Oh god,
right, with-
Fortnite. Oh
I was
god.
gonna say, what about Fortnite?
I'll actually.
That's ongoing.
Oh, no, you know what? I'd say probably Warzone over Fortnite. To be honest, I'd say.
I think Call of Duty or Destiny wins this one.
Yeah, Fortnite is not anywhere near as big as it used to be.
Yeah.
I think Warzone overtook it in my opinion. That's
I
basically
feel
that
like we
VR
should
game effectively
leave-
now.
And then Destiny 2
guys-
just dropped an expansion like this past
Yeah.
week. So they
We,
might.
we should read the subtitle for this one. I feel like it's quite important.
Awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time.
I mean, if you're basing off that, it's No Man's Sky by far.
Yeah.
in my
Yeah,
opinion. But
Going by that, No Man's Sky.
but in actually, if you look at it, what people will vote for or what will win, it's gonna be Warzone probably.
Yeah.
I think you have to remember people aren't gonna look at that subtitle like you are or we will, you know.
It's
So
gonna be
if you
Warzone
don't
or
base it off
Destiny.
that, like I said at the start, what I want to win is obviously No Man's Sky. What will win is Warzone probably.
Yeah. Same here.
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like No Man's Sky has a big enough reach right now that it could win.
I mean, they did do a big. They did have their biggest update, like I think a month or two ago. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, I agree. But
Did
knowing
anyone
people,
play on any
knowing
of these
people
games?
who are okay, knowing gamers who will not necessarily pay attention to the subtitles, they'll probably just go for Warzone.
I have no idea what this next category
Yeah,
is.
anyone?
I haven't
Yeah, I
played
don't know
any of
about this
these.
one.
I've never even heard of any of these games.
Skip that category.
I picked this one because
Yeah,
it has a
yeah,
bow
Yeah, you might
tie.
as well go to the next one.
Yeah, go to the next one. Best performance.
I think Miles will get this.
Ghost. Ghost.
I see Miles getting it.
I know who plays Jin. He's so good.
Hades.
Ugh.
Hey, I don't
This is
know.
for
Hey,
this is for acting performance, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to go with
acting.
like one of the Last of Us 2 girls, either Ashley or Laura Bailey, for me personally.
There's a lot of
This is
hype-
for acting performance,
there's
right?
a lot
Yeah.
of hype for the actor
Yeah.
behind Miles. You see him getting tweeted a lot and stuff. I don't know. I just think he'll take this one. Maybe recency bias again. I think Miles will take it.
I think it should really be Abby, bro. Like, look, I've
Yeah,
never.
I
played
agree,
Two,
100%.
But I will say I saw videos of Laura Bailey. I think she posted on Twitter of the methods that she had to go through to like really
Mhm.
bring Abby to life, and she was going through some crap. Like,
Yeah.
and again, like a majority of the scenes in Last of Us 2 is motion capture anyway. So like, you
100%.
really have to act while doing all this crap. I'd say it's definitely to her.
The fact that people hate her though, hate the character, I think that would stop people voting. People are fickle like that. I just
Yeah.
don't think that they'll vote for her.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yep, I agree with that.
I mean, I think the Last of Us 2 people should win, probably Laura Bailey, but who I think who's going to win, I don't know, man. That's kind of a toss up to me.
I think who's going to win will be either Ellie or it'll be for Jin. But
Yeah.
who I personally want, I agree with like Nakuba. I want Abby to win. You know, I want Laura Bailey to get that one. But I mean, I think it'll either be Ashley Johnson or the voice actor for Jin.
You guys really need to hear Hades' voice. It's so good.
You know,
So
don't forget, Laura Bailey was the original voice actress of Kid Trunks, so she wins by default. Yes.
All right. Well, I mean, this is as much as we know about the performance capture and all that stuff. So let's move on up. Best audio design. I'm putting my hand down for Doom
Doom.
Eternal. Doom. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
not the soundtrack. It's just the way the sounds are. It's just the satisfying nature when you chainsaw through a dude and the shotgun. Oh, yeah, it wins. Hands down.
Doom.
Fair, yeah, no complaints.
I'm going to throw another one in for Last of Us. I see it taking.
This is one that we can pick
Yeah.
whatever, but I don't think there is an easy way to predict who wins this one. Like,
Yeah,
it could
we
go
don't
to
have
Last
for me, it
of Us,
doesn't
could go to
really-
Ghost. It could go to Doom.
The only one I feel doesn't really belong here is Resident Evil, but the other four are way too good.
They probably needed a fifth one. So that's what they picked. So. All right. Best score in music. Again, hands down, Doom Eternal.
Hold on, whoa! Let me talk to you about this great game called Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, exactly,
I know.
man.
I
Exactly.
know.
That's like the
What?
best
Are we
music
gonna just skip
ever.
over that? There's no way.
Yeah,
Yeah, but have you ever heard of Hades though?
Final Fantasy music is life, bro. I gotta go with Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
I have to go Final
Yeah.
Fantasy as well.
And also,
Nobu
My pick-
Uematsu is the god of music, like production
All right,
of
here-
games.
Just to make it clear, I want Doom Eternal to win. Final Fantasy VII is going to win.
No, okay.
okay.
I honestly
real quick there.
I honestly was surprised by the soundtrack in Hades. I honestly like it more than Final Fantasy, and I'm a huge Square Enix stan. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite game series ever and all. The soundtrack in Hades is extremely valid. It's
Shit,
so
maybe I
good.
got to play Hades now.
Just
Yeah, I mean, it's
You really
being
have
nominated
to
for Game of the
play
Year, so you know it's good.
Nostalgia
throw my-
takes this one
I
for me
just
for
want to throw
Final
my
Fantasy
name in for
VII.
this one just in case, but I think Ori and Will of the Wisp might take
Like
it.
Hades for me took the spot of best roguelike over The Binding of Isaac. That's how good it is.
Oh, okay.
Hey, thanks for the raid, JT. We appreciate that.
Hey, thanks a lot for the raid, guys.
But yeah, Final Fantasy
all
VII
right.
wins. Best art direction? Ooh.
Best art direction.
Oh, that's
This
a tough
is this
one.
is Ghosts
That is a
or
tough
Hades,
one.
I think.
It's
I
between
think
Ghost,
Hades
Hades,
should win
and
this
Ori.
one.
I think
Yeah.
Final Fantasy should, honestly.
I mean,
I think
Midgar,
Ghost would win.
Midgar is pretty looking, right? The slumminess of it, like, it all does look great, but like, this has got that
but
traditional.
the CGI though, for
Yeah,
And
So
this is
Final
also something
Fantasy
that
is
people have been
weird.
wanting too. Like people who are playing the original, like to get the remake, like people want to see what Midgard looks like, and you were able to
Yeah.
finally see that. So for me
Yeah.
personally, Final Fantasy VII remake. But I mean, I could see anybody else, probably Hades or Ghost of
Yeah.
Tsushima
Ghost of
or something
Tsushima's
Hades-
got that like Last
Hades
Samurai
looks-
level of
Oh my God.
cinematography for the,
Yeah.
It looks so good.
the flowers and the wind and just
Oh, yeah.
just-
Mhm.
The colors.
It's a beautiful game. It was 100% a beautiful game.
Hades looks fantastic in the same way that Bastion looked fantastic, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps looks absolutely stunning. Ori like really does stand out. Like the art in it is just fantastic. I think this is
Yeah,
another one
for
that
me,
Ori,
it's between Ori and Hades too.
I think Ori might take it. I do. I think we've skimmed over that in a few categories, but there's 2 categories so far that I think it's in with a shout, and I definitely think this is one of them. Just the lighting, the way that it lights up, that there's effects in this game that just look utterly stunning. And because it's 2D, I think people are passing over it, but I think it could be a sleeper here and it might win it.
Can we all
mean-
at least agree that if you vote The Last of Us, you're weird?
Well, no, I mean the art direction is all different, right? I mean, you've got the fantasy.
Yeah, I
for
was
Final
just
Fantasy.
making a joke, but like
No,
compared to
but I'm just
the
saying,
other
like,
four games.
yeah. But I'm saying like the picks are so different because they're different art styles. So whatever you gravitate towards is what you're going to pick, right?
Yeah.
So like if you love the beautiful vistas and the colors of Tsushima compared to the the real life grittiness of Last of Us Part 2, like it depends on who's voting. So kind of is tossed up in the air in my opinion.
So we've got 3 left, and I know you were super tight for time. Do you want to just jump to the last one, or do you want to make it through to the one?
There's like 3 left.
We
They're
got-
they're only gonna
yeah,
miss
so,
the intro. I think we'll be
Yeah,
alright.
best narrative.
Best narrative, I think, is Ghost for sure. Just like the
Ghost,
way
yeah.
that Jin has to suffer. Well, not suffer, but he pretty much goes behind his honor, like his uncle's honor. So that's why I think that's like the best narrative, because he struggles between honor and becoming an assassin, which is a ghost. And I don't think remake is the best one because it's pretty much the same story, but a little bit of like little how I call it,
Changes.
changes in there.
I think
And-
The Last of Us 2 could win this one also.
Honestly, this is the one
No.
I might have to give it to Last of Us 2. But I agree for a lot of the points of Ghost of Tsushima. And for me, Final Fantasy 7 is the one where I kind of would encounter it just because like I'm kind of used to the narrative already for the most part. I'm looking for something kind of different. And for me personally, it would go between Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2. But for taking the risk that Last of Us 2 did, I can honestly see if it were to win this one. But I don't think it will, but I could see if it did.
I think
All right, hold
that
on.
risk- I think
All
that
right.
risk it took is the reason it won't win. People hate the ending of this game, and they
Yeah.
think that it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm not going to spoil the story at all, but if you follow the story beats the way it goes, it doesn't make sense that what happened at the end would happen. It doesn't. And a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people really don't like that, and I don't think for story it will win it. But then if it doesn't win it for story, is it going to win it for anything else? So
That's
it
what I'm
could
wondering.
win, but-
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Wait, okay, hold on. I have something I gotta say. All right, I'm actually gonna give best narrative to Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I'm fine, right? So we know that the game did come through with a lot of changes, right? But those changes, in a way, were pretty massive to how people interpreted a lot of the characters in the world as a whole, or at least in terms of this case, Midgar, right? For
Yeah.
example, and I don't think this is like a spoiler, so I'm gonna try to keep it as spoiler free as possible. But in the original game, obviously, you guys probably saw the bomb run, all that stuff, right? Initially, when certain things happened to certain characters, I didn't really care, right? But in Final Fantasy VII Remake, you actually form a bond with these characters, get to know them a bit more on a personal level, do different things that weren't originally in the original game, and through that, when the bomb run happened, it's like, oh man, this character is gone. Like, why? Right? Like, we even had a whole like waifu war because of it. So, yeah, that's only one example. There's more, but it's those little tidbits that really breathes a bit of extra life into the narrative of Final Fantasy VII, and I really, really enjoyed that. There are some things that people don't like, just like in any game, but I really do think that narrative did hit pretty hard.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it before you popped in, even how the game is aware of its own existence 20 years ago, and there's some fourth wall breaks and some differences that they've thrown in there to make it not the same experience as the way you originally played it. And then, of course, like you said, it's way more in-depth. You get to know a lot more about the characters, the state of the city, things going on. So it is definitely not the same experience as like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're all
I
kind of
won't
split
give
on
my
that one.
opinion. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
we're
go
all split here. I won't give my opinion on this one, but all I'm gonna say is play Hades. Play Hades. It's no, really. I can't explain the story because it's a rogue. Like explain the story is a whole mess. It doesn't have a real story and all. But the interaction between characters, the dialogue, the voice acting, the actual story of the game, although it's a bit spread out, like it's all done really, really well. It brings you into the characters. It makes you passionate about them. It's so good. I can't stress this enough. Please play Hades. It's $20. I'll pay it for you.
Oh, you heard it here, y'all.
Well, I mean, it seems like some of us on 590 to do a stream of playing Hades, just to see what it's all about. All right, moving on to best game direction. We should wrap this up soon. All right, Final Fantasy Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Last of Us Part
It's
2.
like the same choices all over again. It's like the same debate almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I can
It's
go
the
to
same
Well,
shit.
so I'm sick with Final Fantasy 7
I am
Remake, I'm gonna be
too.
honest with you.
If you see on screen, I voted Final Fantasy. I'm right with you, Indakuba.
This I'm giving it to Half-Life simply because it's a new game. It's nothing we ever seen before. It's a whole new type of playing the game.
It's very
for
innovative.
Yeah, for like if you read the subtitle once again, awarded for outstanding creative vision in innovation in game direction and design. There's nothing like Half-Life, Alex. There's literally not a single game like it on the market.
Apart from Half-Life, because you've chosen Half-Life, so it's not up there. But whoever you pick from down here, if you say Hades, if you say Ghost, Final Fantasy VII, or The Last of Us, I think you're pretty much already picking who you think is going to be the game of the year as well. I'm going to say, I think it's going to be The Last of Us.
I mean, it was quote unquote brave of them to go in that direction. So.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah.
I wouldn't pick The Last of Us for game direction simply because I find it a bit too generic in its gameplay to other like third-person shooters. I don't find it really innovative as a game direction type of game. It's a good game for sure, but for game direction, innovation, and everything, it's a bit too generic for me.
Yeah, but you got to remember, game direction is also you're the director. You're controlling the creative vision of it. It's not just the innovative gameplay or stuff like that.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
talking about story, visual. So
it
yeah,
doesn't really interest me.
Which is fine. That's your vote. To me, it's gonna be Ghost.
Yeah, Ghost for sure.
I was gonna give it
Definitely
to
Ghost.
Wait, you're talking about Game of the Year?
No, we're
game
still on game
direction.
direction.
Game direction.
But your choice for one is gonna probably be pretty similar.
Yep.
To your game of the year choice.
All right. Well, okay. Since we're all more or less making up our minds here, let's just go down the list. Gotcha. Game direction or game of the year? Take your pick.
Probably Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. Gale.
Final Fantasy VII.
Hazink.
It's not what I want it to be, but I think it's going to be The Last of Us.
Okay. Lethal.
Boo.
It's so tough. I don't know. That's so hard to pick. It's hard to. I honestly want to give between Ghost and Final Fantasy, but I can see Last of Us if it does win. But I if I had to pick one, I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and just go with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm right with him.
Okay.
It could be any one of those three.
Yeah, they're all really good. They all honestly, they deserve to be there. Like for anybody that doesn't say Last of Us doesn't deserve to be there, it definitely deserves to be there for sure.
Yeah, Naughty Dog puts in like A+ effort.
Yeah,
even if
that game was amazing.
Don't always appreciate it, but yeah, it's definitely between those three. I picked Final Fantasy VII just because of my history with it and growing up with it, but it could be any one of those three.
All right. What about wait, who's next? Kuba?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give a quick explanation, right? I'm gonna say straight up, my pick is Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? But out of all the games that's listed, one game is being heavily underrated, and it's Animal Crossing. And the reason being is because Animal Crossing came out when the pandemic
happened,
first started, and it took the internet by storm. And people are still playing that game to this day. Still getting updated. It's still very popular. All that stuff. If I were to pick like a top three, I'd actually say Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and honestly Animal Crossing. People are heavily sleeping on that game.
No, I can agree with that.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier.
I tried defending it, but you basically explained it better than I did.
Okay. So okay, that's Kuba. Me, I think For game direction, I'm going to go with Tsushima. And then in choice order, I would go for game of the year, Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake, or actually, I'll take that back. Go Tsushima top, Last of Us Part 2, and then Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, Sora?
Okay, before I say my pick, which is probably obvious, but
It is.
I'm gonna say one thing about Ghost of Tsushima. As much as I think it's a good game, I feel like it's a really old game in a brand new skin. The way it plays, the way it feels, the open world mechanics, it all feels very ancient to me. It all feels not
familiar.
Really, yeah, it all feels like something I've already seen before. I don't know if if you guys understand me.
Yep.
No, yeah, I mean, I
the
feel
game
like
is beautiful and everything,
for a
but
full year is not
the game
something
just
I,
didn't do
wanted in
enough
my life,
new,
so
didn't do
I've
enough
done quite a
to
lot of
catch
Summer
me
Sonic,
on.
but
Yeah.
yeah, all of the units are amazing.
And yeah, my pick is say
I
this.
think the
It's
biggest like
like
turnaround
honestly,
in
I didn't give a 10
Dokkan
out of
history
10 to a
from
game in a
actually
really,
seeing
really
the
long
list of
time.
the units
I'm a
and
really
then
critic
to
person when
actually
it
now
comes
having
to
them in
video
the game.
games.
I think Broly is
Hell, I
actually my
even gave
favourite
shit
of
to
all
The Last of Us
so,
Part 1
he is absolutely
because of the gameplay and all.
Yeah, I'd
look
agree.
at that. People now.
And
Okay.
I just couldn't find a single bad thing about Hades. I just don't know how to say it. It's just that good. I didn't find a single bad thing.
Okay.
I'm so glad you said that about Last of Us 1. I think it's a great game, but I think it's one of the most overhyped games in the world. Some of the gameplay mechanics are so clunky, and I don't think it's this masterpiece that people make it out to be, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, last person, Kensei. Your
Okay,
thoughts?
I want 2 games to win, but I want Remake to win and also the Ghost of Tsushima. But the one that I really want to pick is actually Ghost.
All right. So, are we putting any bets on these?
How much?
Yeah?
You
No?
got the money, not me. So
I would say I got the money right now.
Nothing, bro.
if we're doing a gentleman's
doing
bet,
50.
if we're doing a gentleman's bet, I bet on Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I'll go hand in hand with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well. I'll vote for Final Fantasy
All right.
VII as well.
Okay,
I
how about
think-
this?
I think The Last
10
of Us is
gift-
going to miss the most awards in the whole thing. I think hands down it's going to win the most awards.
Well, we'll come up with some bets and ideas for you guys when this actually airs live on what is it, December 10th?
Yeah.
Obviously when this goes live, be sure to check us out because we'll be reacting to it and because there's going to be game trailers, game announcements, all that kind of stuff. So definitely be here for that, and we'll probably have like either a bingo night, a drinking game, or something along those lines to make you guys entertained. On top of that, but that's going to be the end of this. Sorry to cut this short, but we were on a crunch time. So thanks a lot to everybody here. I'm gonna list everyone off. So Kensei, Sora, Nas, Lethal, Hazink, Gale, Gotcha Talks, and Kuba for the late entrance, but nonetheless appreciated. Thanks a lot for your information and your input on all this stuff, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Follow us both on Twitch, Twitter, our YouTube channel, all that stuff to be linked in with the 5-9 Gaming Network. Anything else you want to say, Nas?
Just anyone who's in here is interested in Dokkan. The reason we're cutting short right now is because we actually have the premiere of the Dokkan podcast going up, and we don't want to cut into our own views. So if you didn't happen to check that live yesterday, then feel free to hop on over to YouTube where you can catch the live premiere of yesterday's Dokkan podcast. So other than that,
thanks a lot, guys.
I think we're pretty much good to go. We appreciate everybody. We got the JT raid. Thank you for that. And Spectre rated as well earlier on. So I wanted to thank both of them for that. And other than that, we'll be seeing you guys very soon.
Thanks a lot, guys.
See you guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.